Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to FM22. This is Youth Factory, and it's episode 68, and it's a good 67 episodes late, but finally I have decided face cam. I realized that this is the only series, and has been the only series for quite some time that I was not using face cam on, so here it is. All right, let's go ahead and get on with the game, and with massive news all happening at the same time. First off, new record as we have expanded our season average attendance. Last year's record of, that wasn't even last year's record. That was like 4 years ago, and I believe that was where we had some sort of tournament where we had a huge sellout crowd or massive crowd, whatever the case may be, for some one particular game that saw the average attendance over the course of the year shifted up by hundreds compared to any previous season, slightly below 2,100 for that particular season. And now, this year, 2,398. I want to say that was the promotion year that we had. We headed up to the new division and didn't win as many games, and the attendance was a little bit below. But again, it was one big game, one tournament game, one late round Norwegian Cup sort of game. But here we are with almost 2,400 this last season, and that has been a big step in something that also just happened. Besides me getting a new deal, a couple more years onto our contract, now at 61,000. But we wake up on the same day that they offer me the contract. We wake up with where I was just denied a month ago the exact same thing. They said no. Apparently, they kept talking. The board instantly has turned us professional on their own accord. Couldn't do it because I asked them, but they decided entirely on their own 1 month later to go ahead and make it happen. Regardless of how or why, the important thing is we have turned professional. And organically, it wasn't forced. I'm glad a lot of you were commenting. Some were saying, hey, spend the money. Do it. Just, get things going. Because honestly, I don't know how much longer the series will go on. I mean, yeah, we just finally came back. But August and first part of September it's going to be August, a month of a lot of game releases. Which means I've got to make room. I've got to make room for those. And outside of Pro Cycling Manager and Tennis Manager, I think everything else is potentially on the chopping block at some point over the next month. And there's plenty of work to do here, plenty of work still to do, and this has been an exciting series. And I also just realized before starting this recording that it's already late July. We're entering August, and so our FM23 release isn't that far away at this stage, which, by the way, there's without a doubt the next version of this series will happen. Maybe not in Norway, but it will happen. So anyway, okay, back to the game. We're professional now. We are going to finally get to start training 5 days a week. I just re-signed probably 8 to 10 players who had expiring contracts this coming year, and everybody's on these part-time deals. We're going to have to start getting everybody signed up to full-time deals now so we can get them here training daily. And that is going to lead to some accelerated growth. They were only practicing a couple times a week, and then if we had games, all of a sudden they were practicing once a week. 4 or 5 days a week is going to make a huge difference. Even without the training facilities improved, we will see more progress out of players, getting us up to that higher tier a bit faster. As we speak, over this last month and a half, Homedale has become just the second player in the history of our franchise to hit a 100 current ability, which is literally just half. It is half of what a player could be. You can't get worse than 1. You can't get better than 200. He's just the second player to hit that mark, to hit that halfway point in terms of quality. We've got a long ways to go yet, but this professional status. My oh my, what a boost it could and should be. These guys that are in the 60s should be climbing a lot faster now, especially the ones that have a bit of potential, like say Karsten Zoll-Wolf, 63 132, Cal Z 62 139, training daily. Yeah, we should see more out of these guys now. Well, the first obvious change is by going professional. We now have 3 more coaching vacancies, and we have 2 more medical staff vacancies that we can and need to, as soon as possible, get to. We have a sports scientist now that we're professional, so we want to at least get that head of sports science, and then 1 more regular coach and 1 more performance analyst and a head of performance analyst. So only 1 more regular coach, and we'll start with that. But hey, this is all going to be a boost. And then, of course, that full-time situation is going to be huge. A week ago, Simon Moen was unwilling to sign a new contract, and suddenly, now that we're a professional team, he's ready to stay put for another year, and for fairly reasonable expense. We'll see if we can lower it just a little bit. I'd rather take the 3 years. Okay, he's more worried about the money. I guess we'll have to accept that one. There you go, done deal. And this is how quickly things turn around. We go professional, and within 2 days, we've gotten offers for Homedale previously that were in the range of $20,000. Now we get $150,000 right up front with an eventual deal to push it to $210K, just by simply being professional. Still have a balance of $3.5 million, and looking on forums, I've found that the $3.5 million we have is more than enough to pay for a pretty substantial upgrade to our training facilities. Substantial, multiple levels, and still have money left, or a little bit of money left. So maybe the fact that we weren't professional had a lot to do with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and try again. I don't even know if we can make that request yet, as it's been fairly recent. It's still too recent for now, but we'll look to make that happen before next year. We'll see when that option becomes available here, maybe in a couple months. So I brought in a new coach, discipline at 12, determination 12, motivating 20. Very solid in that area compared to what we've had traditionally. Attacking 15 and tactical 14. Hosseini is a 4-star attacking tactical coach. Now, the importance of this is that our assistant coach, Hea, I'm able to now take him off of tactical coaching, which puts him into his strength, which is attacking technical. So we now have 4-star attacking coaching. We have 4-star goalkeeping, though that's heavy. I have too many goalkeepers by a bit, so they are struggling through that. The one area that is still a bit of a weakness is fitness. I have 2 fitness coaches, and to keep them from having too much, they're having to double up. And as a result, we're only getting 2.5-star quality. So I would very much like to get another fitness coach, and that could really give us a boost, because then I could allow 2 guys to specialize and 1 guy to just be the extra body to assist. So it took a week to unlock as I went to try to go into our training calendar. Couldn't change anything. We were still on our 2-day thing, but here we are finally with a full training schedule. This is going to make a difference. This is going to make a real difference. But getting players on contracts so that they can participate in all of these sessions, that's going to be a short-term key for us. We're already experiencing new things. So Tom Russler is an 18-year-old. He's a wingback, but he's got 79 current ability, 121 potential ability, but we don't play with the fullback or wingback positions. he's awkward at right mid, and when you look at him right now, he's just somebody who's really brave and has a bit of pace and good stamina. He's somebody who could become a good player, but with no real fit, he doesn't really have much of a value to us until you look at this. And Offenbach is interested in signing the native German. It makes perfect sense that they're interested in, and they're willing to give us a pretty good chunk of change to get him. So I'm going to go ahead and accept this one and give the ultimatum on the other one to match. And we're willing to let this guy go. And finally, we're finding a way to bring in money. A youth player who has not made it to the senior team. And they're looking to give us more money than anybody other than our top guys have gotten offers for since the start of this. Now, current ability was fairly high for the 18-year-old who never looked likely to break through to our first team. So is this the start of something? I hope it is. Jonas Gay and Christian Bergam both signing new full-time contracts. Also, I have slowly but surely brought along a whole lot of guys, and if we look now, we have this many on full-time contracts now, and we're down to this many, and a lot of young players just aged out of our U19s and got bumped up here. A good 7 to 8 players were just added to the senior roster. So I've got to do something with some of these guys. There's plenty of potential. I've looked at, so now that we're professional, do we have a chance at getting a reserve squad? And the answer on that one, at least at the moment, is no. So we're still stuck with U19s and then straight to senior squad. So if you're not ready to contribute, what can we do? Loans? Obvious answer on that to handle some of these guys. But there's just too many players. And especially now that we're going full time, the amount of money that we're going to be spending on these guys is rising. I've re-signed another 5 players or so the list is getting shorter and shorter. And in the meantime, Homedale, the offers are getting larger and larger. Now, potential rising to 300,000 coming from Vålerenga at this point, 215K up front. I don't know how much longer the board is going to hold out on this one before they accept, but at this point, I'm predicting that Homedale will be gone before the season begins. Took a little time. As many as I could, I negotiated new contracts, but where guys weren't willing or demanded release clauses of like $6,000, which is absurd because those guys would be gone in 5 seconds if I did that. Cheesed the system where I had to just convert the existing contracts from part-time to full-time. But for everyone that was willing, I went ahead and negotiated new contracts and got those set. There's definitely going to be an increase in spending on salary this season, but it's a good thing. We're now on a full-time and we continue to work, we continue to build, and now I've got to look to the youth contracts to do the same sort of thing. I've already negotiated a few of those, and likewise I'll do the same thing there. I'll just convert from part-time to full-time on those contracts where necessary. And we've reached our new intake. It's a full 5-star excellent intake. It's another potential golden generation. Now, does suddenly becoming professional change things? I suppose we will find out soon enough, but we're looking at half a dozen elite talents, 4 top talents, and definitely some weaker ones who will not make the team. Looks like realistically we might only have 6 or 7. Cars and above is the new intake group. So we're looking at not good enough, right mid, position we're short at, so probably just good enough. Maybe not. Certainly not good enough. Holy crap, that's a terrible player. 31, 35. We haven't seen anything that bad in ages. I'm wondering if the recent just sudden flip to professional is giving us some issues, because this is looking like a fairly weak intake compared to what we normally see. Not good enough, not good enough, not good enough. Good enough, definitely good enough. Almost. Won't take long. A little bit of development is all that is needed. Filipino. All right, nice. Looking forward to him playing for the national team. My wife's Filipina, so I follow them closely, their development. I have played with many Filipino players in my day and have traveled there. So, yeah, excited about that one. Not a huge prospect, but, something. Not good enough. Just good enough. Wingback, though, so that's a bit of an issue. Would probably just look to sell him eventually. Definitely good enough. Nowhere near on this one. And one player with high potential. That's it. The potential of 138 is obviously a good one, but we are really looking at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 keepers. 7 keepers, and we'll take a look at this guy, whether we want to make that 8. But not the greatest intake by any stretch of the imagination, but we have obviously been gifted with a wealth of potential, and so we've been letting a lot of guys go in recent intakes, and so this is nothing new. I am going to go ahead and get those guys' contracts updated, converted, put on full time. I'll get the rest of the U19s taken care of as well, and then we will be ready to start a new season. That is going to do it for this one, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.